Today we're going to take a look at the Zetlight QMaven II. What's going on, guys? Devin with ReefDudes. So we just saw the Zetlight QMaven II kind of unveiled at MACNA this year. It's a brand new model to the popular QMaven line. And one of my buddies just picked this one up for his tank, so I of course had to grab it first to do a bit of an unboxing and testing out for you guys. So let's open this baby up and check it out. Looks nice. Guess you guys want to see too, don't you? So this is one of the largest sizes of the QMaven line. So this is a good I believe it's a 48-inch light. So it'll fit most of those 48-inch tanks out there. We got a little arm, so that'll be for mounting it. And we got our feet, which will go on the edge of the tank. And we have the QMaven light itself. Now this has a good chunk of weight to it. This is a solid chunk of aluminum. Thin this is, I love that. Because this is made of solid aluminum, there is no fans on it. It keeps it super duper quiet, and this big chunk of aluminum is what cools those 164 LEDs inside of it. So we got waterproof connectors. This looks to potentially our controller for it. And we also have a separate power bar. Now because it's so thin, we have to have the power supply and the driver separately to keep that sleek profile. So we do have our nice big power brick, so this still have to hide in your stand or somewhere. And we got our power cord for it. Now this is all controlled through an app, so let's get this baby plugged in. I'll download the app and we'll set it up and test it out. So the stand on this can go from 120 to 150 centimeters. And another really cool thing is the whole light is waterproof. It's IP67 rated, so you can literally splash this water and you wouldn't have an issue. Not that I'm gonna try that, but it's just nice to know that it could. So the legs just slide into the end. You got a ton of adjustability for the width of it. You have locking waterproof connectors. The other end of that goes into our power supply. As far as single panel lights go, I really dig the look of this one. I'm normally a big fan of the puck ones because the big ones are really thick and bulky. And this is literally super tiny. Like, the dimensions of this are awesome. Okay, so let's get the app and we'll check it out. Okay, so the app we're looking for is called Horizon Aqua. So the first time we do this, we need to connect to that device directly. And the password for it is 8 zeros. Okay, so we just opened the QMaven app, we connected to the Wi-Fi, we're in the app, so I'm gonna click on LED. So click this button, add a device. Put the plus sign, searching for a device. So found the QMaven light. All right, so it looks like it's linked. Okay, so found it, we got the light. Now if I click on it, I can control the intensity of each channel. So the first one, I'm gonna turn everything down to 0. So I unlocked it, turned it all down. So I do like how it tells you what it is on each of the apps. So okay, so we got our whites, we got our royal blue and our blues, we got our red and our greens, and we got our blue and our violets. All right, so we've got lightning effects, cloudy. At the top of the screen here, you got each different time zone. So 5:30 to 7:30, 7:30 to 9. Now if we click on that, we can adjust the start and the end time. So you can fine tune as much as you want, but it looks like we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different set points. So you'll be able to have those points of the day when you can have here's your turn on time, here's your ramp up time, here's your moonlights, and go from there. So if we go demo mode, this will just show what the kind of pre-program is. So every 10 minutes is about a second. So it's going to walk through your whole day and you can get a bit of a preview and see what your light schedule is. Okay, we're going to exit this one for now. And so if we go to cloudy, you can say cloudy duration. So pick your duration and your frequency. Let's see, we've got options. You can have your moonlights, acclimation mode, which is always nice. So if you turn on acclimation mode, it's going to ease in new corals or ease in the new light on the tank. Now, I know a lot of people are going to want to know what's the actual par output, what's the light. So I'm actually going to throw this on my old tank for now, and I'm going to do a bit of a par test because I'm really kind of curious to see how much light this actually puts out. And once I actually get my buddies in the future, we put it on his tank in the next week or two, then I'll retest it again on his tank. So we'll get kind of a double-edged kind of unboxing review and then more of an update later. So let me get this on the tank and let's give it a bit of a par test and see how it actually looks with corals. So I am really pushing it for what it's actually rated for the mounts on here, just with that kind of spread of it. However, I think it will work for now. So when it turns back on, it does ramp up slowly, which is nice because you're not going to startle your fish as much. So all channels are currently on 100%, and I'm going to test this with my Apogee Q510 par meter. Now I do love this par meter because it is tuned from the factory for blue LEDs and for LEDs. So it's basically made for our saltwater tank environment. So you don't have to worry about doing corrections or anything else. You can just pop it in and use it. So currently we have all channels at 100%. This tank is 18 inches deep. It's about 4 inches above it. Right there is about 388 and 310. So we're getting about 300 to 400 par at the sand bed, which is a lot of light. Now there is a bit of a common spots in the middle. So if I go right underneath the puck, mid tank, I'm getting about 700 par. If I go in between the two lights, where there's a little spot between the things, I'm getting about 530. Move over, this spot's getting about 1,000 par. So this is where two pucks are side by side, so it's a lot of light. Now with this, I'm going to tone this down a bit to something probably what we'd actually use. So I'm going to turn the red and greens way down to about 20%. And let's put the whites at 24% and the red and greens at 24%. Just trying to mimic something a little closer to like the AB plus type of schedule that I'd normally use. Okay, so this is definitely a little hotter on the blue, but so we have 24% white, 24% red and green, 100 blue, 100% UV. So now we're getting about 270 on the sand bed over here. On the right hand outer edge of it, we're getting around 50 par. It falls off pretty quick once you're not directly underneath it. So only about 20 par there. Move over, we've got 140 par. So looks like the LEDs are fairly directional. I'm gonna guess it's probably like a 90-degree type of angle. There is a lot of them on it, so that's probably why they shoot it straight down. So right around the A cans, we're around 300 par. If we get close to the surface, we're still about 600 par. So this is definitely a very powerful light, and one that you will want to make sure you guys tone down and not get too crazy with. So let's turn everything down a bit. I'm just going to go visual about what I like the look of it. This guy, we're getting around 160, 115 on the sand bed. So this is right around where I'd normally have a schedule. So it gives you guys a bit of an idea on the look of it. Definitely a good chunk of light out of this guy. So par-wise, this definitely packs a lot of punch. It is a little hot spotty directly under the LEDs, where if you go out to the outskirts, it does drop off, but the light is also very close to the water line. Now, if you had a smaller 4-foot tank, I bet you could flip these brackets and have it mounted much higher. So the higher we go, the more even our par and our light spread is going to be on the tank. So I already had this set up on my Wi-Fi, and I'm going on Kyle's. Now, to look at the manual, to reset it, it says just to hold the end of the adapter for 10 seconds and the light should flash and it should reset the settings on it. So yeah, let's try it and find out. Huh, look at that. Controller reset. So everything should, as far as I can tell, be programmed now. Now let's actually go through it and check what the par reading is. Okay, so 12 to 8. So this is when the majority of our lighting is going to be on through the day. So this is kind of the par range that I want to make sure is at a happy, acceptable level. Now, generally for an SPS tank, I'd shoot for more of that kind of 250 to 350 range. Usually about 100 out of the sand beds would like to do in more like a mixed reef SPS type of tank. If we get around 100 par, that's generally a really good place to be. So right now it's getting 150 on the sand bed. About 170 par. This guy's getting around 200 par. Your NEM is getting about 150. If I come down the sand bed for the Zoas, we're looking at about 160 on the sand bed. Look at this little guy here, he's getting about 190. It's still pretty hot. Go on this edge of your rock, you're getting about 130. And this acro, deepwater acro at the back, he is getting about 120 par. So it's pretty happy overall right now. 200, it's a pretty good place to be. So we got 77% for your blues, violets, UV, and royal blue. 33% white. So the app itself was pretty quick and easy to set up, but the only one thing left to do would be join this to the Wi-Fi. That way you can just access it from your other home network, and rather than worrying about setting it up or connecting to it directly every time. So we'll get that set up, but aside from that, it was pretty quick and easy setup. Once you had the app installed, all we did is pair it with remote, jump on its Wi-Fi, then we join it to our network and we're done. I personally think the color of the light looks a lot better on this tank. The fixture itself is pretty darn sleek. Do keep in mind that you do have this big power brick that you gotta hide somewhere, but it's a fair trade for having such a sleek fixture. Now right now I actually can't hear it on, but when I did have it running on for a little bit, I did notice a bit of a fan noise inside, and that was about the only noise I heard from the entire fixture. So overall, if you could hide this somewhere, it's gonna be nice and sleek. So hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the first look at the Zetlight QMaven II, and we'll come back in a couple months and we'll see how the light's doing. All right guys, as always, you enjoyed it, smash that like button if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.